Candelas is, to me, like a best-kept secret, but also a secret that I don't want to keep to myself.
This shop is like a beautiful, magical world of music and love and language. It's hard to describe a shop like that.
When you talk about Candelas, that's synonymous with like tall timber. This is big stuff. This is a very important asset to the community.
Anytime I hear about someone looking for an acoustic guitar, I immediately tell them, go to Candelas.
My friends told me, you know, those type of guitars that you like, they kind of make them down the street. And I'm like, no way.
The history of Boyle Heights is you do well and you leave. I said, I'm gonna stay. I'm not leaving. We're gonna make a difference here. I think people gravitate to Candelas for that one-on-one attention. Artists coming in, individuals seeking that unique detail that's lacking in their guitars. The length of scale, the tone, the character of tension, all these things that we're able to provide for them. I believe that's why they come to us.
Candelas Guitars, from the outside, we're a 97-year-old establishment that's been passed down through 4 generations of Mexican-American luthiers. We've been fabricating custom instruments, mostly classical, flamenco, and mariachi guitars. We do restoration work on everything under the sun, anything wooden with strings on there.
What I tell people is we have the tree, and the tree gets cut into these pieces. The pieces end up becoming assembled as an instrument, right? But it's still a tree. It's not a guitar until the first person does this. Candelas Guitars was founded in 1928 in Torreón. The founders of Candelas was my great uncle, Candelario Delgado, and his brother, my grandfather, Porfirio Delgado. They started building guitars through hunger. They needed to make money. My grandfather was a carpenter and had taken a little bit of guitar lessons when he was a child. So somebody said, oh, you should build a guitar. Candelas expanded to Boyle Heights in 1947, and we've been here ever since.
I went to Candelas Guitars in 1963 to get ebony pegs on my guitaron. And I, of course, ended up buying a vihuela and a requinto jarocho and this, that, and the other, and became a big fan of Mexican music.
Well, I was sort of born into the shop here. Being the eldest son, I was always with my father, and he introduced the guitar to me day one. I always enjoyed being with my dad, and I saw the joy that he had here. And you know, obviously the shop has always been that feeling of just being here and enjoying yourself and building or creating something. I decided to come into the business at about 19, 20 years old. I was the only person to apprentice under my grandfather and my father. And it was tough, you know, because I had my grandfather and my dad mentoring, guiding, teaching, correcting, scolding. I got a little bit of all of it, and I wouldn't change it for the world. The first thing that we are, what we call ourselves, are tone chasers. Sound is first, then character of tension is second, and then third it would be maybe aesthetics or overall look. But tone is number one. What I want to do in my life is to be able to put this in the owner's hands, whoever commissions me to build this, and inspire them to play the way that they want to play.
He pays attention to musicians, and the fact that he's so knowledgeable about music, right? He can really establish a connection with a professional musician. He knows, for example, that a mariachi player, it's a world-class musician. And because he recognizes that, he has that respect and admiration for that. And because of his knowledge, it's very easy for Tomás to have communion, with someone, at that level.
Everything has to be done a certain way to achieve a certain level of tone. Those little variables, and we're talking millimeters, of adding or taking away to the box or the thickness of the wood or the length of the scale, and then ultimately making that combination to create a tone for that individual. There you have it, guys.
A Candelas guitar to me is full of emotion. It's full of heart. There is something in there's a certain energy in the instrument when you pick it up that you know that it was made with a lot of love. It was made with passion. I got this instrument from him, and I just remember sitting with it and just playing it and just, wow, just feeling just how easy it was to play it. The fact that it belongs to like one family and that it's been in that family for decades. There's something really special about it.
When you talk about Candelas, that's synonymous with like tall timber. This is big stuff. This is the hardiest stuff of the semi-arid Los Angeles musical situation. This is a very important asset to the community.
This shop is like a small, beautiful, magical world of music and love and language. It's hard to describe a shop like that. I mean, one of the times that I went, it was like, what the hell's going on here? Is it a concert going on in here? Right? Los Lobos were there.
Tomás was Tomás's dad. Yeah! Yeah!
We'd come to him and say, can you make this instrument kind of do this? And he'd look at us kind of funny. Well, all right, well, I'll try it, whatever.
When I started working here, I started to recognize some of the people that would walk in. Some of the mariachi groups, classical guitars, flamenco guitars. These men would walk in and I would go to my dad or my grandpa, do you know who they are? And they're like, yeah, of course we know who they are. They've been clients for years. And so yeah, I'm hanging out with legends and learning from them. Canciones de mi Padre with Linda Ronstadt. Iconic album and a Candelas guitar on there. The original guitar for Walt Disney, the Mickey Mouse guitar that Jimmy Dodd played, there were actually 4 of them. And all 4 were built by my tío Candelas in 1957. We would have guitars for Charro, Arlo Guthrie, Hoyt Axton, Jose Feliciano with his famous nylon string dreadnought body guitar. And now working with guys like Los Lobos, Osomatli, Gabby Moreno.
Mal hombre, tan ruin es tu alma que no tiene nombre. Anytime I play a Candelas guitar, I know I'm like playing history. Eres un mal hombre. Something like that.
Once I actually started working here, I noticed there's a lot of work that goes into this, but it's all the lessons that are layered on top of each other to keep you around, to keep the business going, to keep thriving as a family. I'm a 4th generation luthier. I'm about halfway into my luthier apprenticeship with my father. My dad taught me how to use this tool, and this actually belonged to my great-grandfather. Seen a lot of years, a lot of different guitars.
Get a rhythm going. There you go.
I come here, open, close, clean the shop. I'm doing a lot of the restoration and repair work. This is a neck made out of cedar that's going to be for vihuelas, so it's going to be one of these instruments. I'm a part of some of the team builds, some of the stuff that my dad is doing right now as well. But coming up here soon, in a couple years, my dad might release the reins here.
Y fíjate, ya 97 años. Y ahora mi hijo se va a quedar con el negocio ya. Lo corrí 2 veces de aquí. Le dije, no, pues se graduó del LMU, cum laude y todo, con su business degree. Y me dice, la tercera vez me dice, Pop, guess what? Le digo, okay. He's like, I quit my job. I'm like, all right, what are you going to do? He's like, I'm on my way. I'm like, le dije a mi señora, le digo, pues ya la tercera vez, pues quiere decir que quiere estar aquí.
Once I actually started working here, I noticed there's a lot of work that goes into this. You know, the admin that's up front, the building. Thank God my dad purchased the building years ago. That's one of the reasons why we're still here. But it's all the lessons that are layered on top of each other to keep you around, to keep the business going, to keep thriving as a family. It was very impressive once I got old enough to really understand and appreciate all the things that he had done, and the reason he was able to do it was all the knowledge that was passed down throughout the years.
He's more than a master craftsman. You know, he's in a lot of ways he's a mentor. You know, he loves to teach. So it's one of those, you know, legendary families, Latino families that kind of become very successful, but at the same time very committed to the communities that they're working with. And I wish we had more than one Tomás Delgado, because most people that are making guitars, they're just there for the profit. But I think the human side of Tomás Delgado is what's very impressive to me.
So I first became acquainted with Candelas in high school, actually. I went to high school here in Boyle Heights, just down the street from the shop. I was about, I want to say 17 years old at the time, and starting to play classical guitar on my own. And my friends told me, you know, those type of guitars that you like, they kind of make them down the street. And I'm like, no way. And so one day after high school, I came down and I met Tomás, and true to his form, he was making instruments covered in sawdust, but he gave me his undivided attention. After that initial meeting, Tomás would always share an instrument or just share his time. And so as the years went on and the mentorship continued, and I already graduated college and started working, I had this longing and missing for what my passion was. And so one day I was just having a conversation with Tomás, and I go, like, I want to continue to teach. And so he gave me the opportunity to teach here after work. And then, you know, he goes, well, over many years, people have asked me to have a foundation here at the shop, but he didn't feel comfortable with anyone he could trust to truly be in the work. And I told him, I'll help you with anything you need, because I want to be a part of it.
So the Candelas Music and Arts Foundation is a product of all the years of working with the community. We've been doing it for free for so many years. I just thought maybe it would make sense now to become a formal 501c3 and bring in partners.
Better, much better on your right hand. The economy of motion's a lot better. Okay.
With Candelas and folks, this is not hyperbole. Their interest is great from the heart, and it can be instrumental with the support it deserves because its focus is in teaching a transgenerational ability.
And I told you I get more out of this than you do.
When I started taking lessons here, I was a little nervous. I didn't know how exactly it was going to be. I was about 11, 12 years old, never picked up a guitar. My parents just wanted me to like be more out there into the world.
Let me get you your stand. Let's start with this, then we'll adjust from there. Be shocked to see how well that reads when you look at it now, right, compared to when you first started.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a minute, I ain't gonna do that.
Pretty easy, yeah. When I first started, each piece was pretty difficult. I was still learning like the fretboards and moving up and down the neck of the guitar. But as I got farther along, I was able to like kind of memorize where each position was. Reading music came a lot easier, and it was just a really fun experience, like experimenting with all the pieces.
I really want to show you guys that how hard I worked on this piece, because I want to show you guys that I'm worthy of the scholarship.
Ready, set, go.
I've had a lot of family problems throughout the past few years, and the music was just like a good release, and it was a good relief from all that stress. I mean, my dad's been going through a lot recently, and just to put a little smile on his face every time I play is just the best thing I could ever ask for.
We're using the guitar and music to bring them in, giving them a safe place to express themselves, open up to us, and then we can help them through journaling, through music, through relationships with their siblings, more importantly with their parents. We're building from within.
From a young age, my stepdad told me that this was a place to come when I was ready to buy a serious instrument. I came in and Tomás just liked how I played, so before we even really began to speak about purchasing an instrument or what I wanted to do, he just made it clear to me that he wanted me to study here at the guitar school. The consistency that I get here is helpful. All of these skills that we use to practice and kind of trick our brain into doing the right thing applies to every instrument and life in general.
You hear the resonance difference?
Mm-hmm. This is a very safe place for me to come here, and whatever it is I need to talk to, if it's Tomás, Tommy, or Kenneth, one of them is appropriate for any situation.
Oof. Is this Indian? Yeah, I can tell.
Indian spruce.
Crazy.
We have students that are literally, they run into these issues, homelessness, drug addiction, alcohol abuse, and we tackle them through music. And it's just so exciting to see the ones that we've been able to save. They've changed their work mindset and they're moving into something different, and they're finding success in that. And we have all the testimonials to it.
It's just so wonderful for people to have the opportunity to feel what it's like to pick up an instrument, and then, you know, who knows, maybe they will get inspired, and in return they will want to also mentor. It creates like a rippling effect.
I believe in music, the language of music. I think it's the most powerful tool to change hearts. And with Candelas, and I'm not, folks, this is not hyperbole, their interest is great from the heart, and it can be instrumental with the support it deserves because its focus is in teaching. And that is a transgenerational ability.
You're still that same bright light. Mm-hmm. It's when I met you, you had it, and you have it even more so now. But your confidence and your execution, mm-hmm. when you pick up something, like you're just the level.
Thank you.
Where you're at. No, thank you. And I told you I get more out of this than you do.
Candelas Guitars, when anyone asks me about it, it's very easy to think about past, history, artists, and all the other success that they've had. But to me, the big thing that I tell them, it's a place where the future is happening today, because we're identifying people in the community whom would have great impact and benefit from the mentorship that we can provide, so that can impact the community right next to the shop.
The dream that I had was to stay in Boyle Heights, and it's a unique position to be in at my age now, because I'm seeing the shop and you guys through the eyes of my grandpa and my dad now. I embrace it, you know, I'm super excited for you guys. I know you'll preserve what started here 97 years ago.
All the pictures on the wall, that's my family. Just keeping their legacy going and keeping the work that they did for years going, I think that's very special. This neighborhood has embraced us. To be a part of such a culturally rich and thriving neighborhood and be one of the staples, I will make sure that we never leave here.
I thought it was going to end with me. My hope is that we're able to continue to do this. And I'll do it as long as I'm alive.
Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. For more stories in your communities, click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV for the latest information, balanced coverage, weather updates every 10 minutes, and more. We'll see you then.